So hello everyone, welcome back to English Grammar and Literature World. Dear students, today we'll talking about total 25 questions from one word substitution based on previous year questions. So let's begin today's class. Look at the first one. A person who compiles dictionaries. What is called? So option B, that is lexicographer. Okay. A lexicographer is a person who writes, compiles and edits dictionaries. So what is biographer? A biographer writes the life story of a person. That is called biographer. Okay. Next. One who is 70s. What is called? So someone who is 70s is called option A. That is septuagenarian. Okay. So a septuagenarian is a person who is between the age of 70 to 79 years. That is called septuagenarian. Okay. Next, look at the other options. Octogenarian generally suggest 82 to 89 years, and sexagenarian generally suggest 60 to 69 years. Okay. And what is centenarian? 100 plus more age is called centenarian. Next, a person who hates mankind. A person who hates mankind is called option A, that is misanthropy. Okay. So a misanthropy is a person who dislikes or hates human. Look at the other options. What is philanthropist? A person who loves mankind. That is called philanthropist. Introvert, a person who talks less, or you can say an introvert is a reserved or shy person. Okay, shy person. What is cynic? A cynic doubts other intentions. Understand? Next. A speech delivered without any kind of preparation. What is called? So the right answer is option D, that is extempore. An extempore in a speech delivered without prior preparation. Understand? So look at the other options. So what is manuscript? So look, manuscript is a written document. Okay. And what is monologue? A monologue is a speech by only one person. That is called monologue. Next, one who looks at the bright side of things. That is called option D, that is optimist. An optimist is a person who always expects positive outcomes, or you can say positive side. Okay. So what is pessimist? So a pessimist is a person who always expects the negative side. And what is idealist? An idealist believes in the perfect ideas. Perfect ideas. And what is realist? A realist always deals with the practical reality. Practical reality. Next, last literary work of a writer. So what is called last literary work of a writer? So that is option A, swan song. So swan song is the last work, performance or achievement of a person before death or retirement. Understand? So look at the other options. What is red tapism? Actually, red tapism suggests official delay. Okay, official delay. What is monologue? I have already told you. So look at the option D, that is platonic. So platonic generally suggests to pure or spiritual love. That is platonic. Okay. Next one. A person who speaks many languages is called option B, that is polyglot. So the word poly means many. Okay. So a polyglot is a person who can speak and understand several languages. Okay. What is bilingual? So bi means two. A person who knows only two languages. That is called bilingual. Linguist is a studies of languages. Okay, so linguist is a person who studies languages. An orator generally suggests a skilled public speaker. Skilled public speaker. That is called orator. Understand? That's good. Next, fear of foreigners. This one is very, very important. Okay, fear of foreigners is called option C, xenophobia. Understand? What is theliophobia? So theliophobia generally suggests fear of God or religion. Okay, fear of God or religion. And what is monophobia? Monophobia means fear of being alone. Fear of being alone is called monophobia. Now, what is mastigophobia? Mastigophobia generally suggests fear of punishment. Okay, fear of punishment. Next, a person who loves good food. What is called? So the right answer is option D, that is gourmet. So a gourmet is a person who enjoys fine food and he has refined state of quality foods. Okay, so look, gluten actually suggests a person who eats too much. Okay, or a person who eats excessively. So here is a difference between gluten and gourmet. Who is cannibal? A cannibal is a person who eats human flesh. Human flesh. Next, fear of cockroaches. This one also very, very important. So fear of cockroaches is called option B, catsaridophobia. So catsaridophobia generally suggests fear of cockroaches. What is heliophobia? So heliophobia means fear of sunlight. What is ophidiophobia? Ophidiophobia, fear of snakes. What is bibliophobia? Fear of books. That is called bibliophobia. Next, a person who extremely desirous of money. That is option A, avaricious. So the word avaricious suggests a person who is very much greedy for wealth or money. Okay, look at the other options. What is the meaning of the word cacophony? So the word cacophony means harsh, or you can say unpleasant sound. Okay, sanctuary is a place. A polyglot generally suggests a person who knows many languages. Next, one who knows everything. What is called? So one who knows everything is called option A, that is omniscient. So an omniscient is a person who knows everything. Now look at the other options. What is omnipotent? So an omnipotent means all powerful, or you can say powerful person is called omnipotent. What is omnipresent? So an omnipresent is a person who present everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, next, a person who eats too much. That is called option D, gluten. So I have already told you difference between the gourmet and gluten. So gourmet is a person who likes to eat, and gluten is a person who eat too much or excessively. Understand? Good. And what is a epicure? So an epicure enjoys fine and luxurious food. Next, a person who is hard to please. What is called? That is option B, fastidious. A fastidious person is very difficult to please. Okay, so look at the other options. What is generous? So generous generally suggests a kind-hearted person. Kind person. Okay, kind person. Next, a person who believes in fate. That is option A, fatalist. So a fatalist is a person who always believes in fate. Okay, so what is optimist? So an optimist believes in the positive outcomes. Okay, positive sides. And what is atheist? So an atheist is a person who does not believe in God. That is called atheist. Next, one who fears confined places. So this one also very, very important. So one who fears confined places, that is option B, claustrophobia. So the word claustrophobia always suggests fear of confined places. Okay, so look at the other options. What is hydrophobia? Hydro means water. So fear of water, that is called hydrophobia. Xenophobia, I have already told you. Fear of foreigners, that is called xenophobia. And what is agoraphobia? So agoraphobia, that is suggest fear of crowded place. Crowded places. Okay, next, a speech by only one person. That is obviously option A, monologue. So mono means one. Okay, so a monologue is a long speech delivered by one person, especially in a play or drama. What is prologue? So this one is very, very important. So prologue means the introduction part of a play or book. Okay. Introduction part of a play or book. And what is epilogue? The ending speech or ending section of a story or play. That is called epilogue. Okay. Next. One who copies from others. That is option A, plagiarist. So a plagiarist is a person who copies someone else's work, ideas or writing style. Okay. Next. A person who loves book. So that is option C, bibliophile. Okay. Next. A person who studies stars and planets. That is option D, astronomer. An astronomer is a scientist who studies stars, planets, galaxies and the universe using scientific methods. Okay. So look at the other option. What is a geologist? So a geologist always studies about the earth, rocks and minerals. Okay. What is astrologer? So an astrologer predicts future. Okay. Next. A person who is indifferent to pleasure or pain. That is option A, stoic. So the word stoic generally suggests someone who is very adamant person, very firm person. Okay. Who remains unaffected by pleasure or pain and shows strong self-control over emotions. That is called stoic person. So what is cynic? Actually, cynic always doubts others' intentions and believes people are selfish, but is not emotionless. That is called cynic person. What is sadist? A sadist enjoys causing pain to others. Optimist, I have already told you, a positive or a hopeful person. That is called optimist. Now next one. One who cannot be corrected. That means option C, incorrigible. So an incorrigible person is someone who cannot be corrected, improved or reformed. Okay. Next. A government by few people. That is option B, oligarchy. So look at the other options. Democracy suggests for the people, by the people. Okay. So power of people, that is democracy. What is monarchy? Monarchy means rule by the king or queen. That is monarchy. What is autocracy? One person, rule by one person, that is autocracy. Next. A thing that cannot be heard. Right answer is option A, inaudible. Look at the other option. What is alimony? So alimony generally suggests money given after divorce. That is alimony. Okay. And indelible means, the word indelible means something cannot be erased. That is indelible. Now what is illegible? Illegible means cannot be read. Okay. Cannot be read. That is called illegible. Next. So this is the last one. A thing that cannot be seen. So what is the right answer? Look at the option. Is it invisible? Is it inaudible? Is it intangible? Or is it transparent? So what is the right answer? You have to tell me in the comment section. Okay. So dear students, here are total 25 questions with explanation. Remember, vocabulary is not about mugging up. Okay. So it's all about understanding meaning and using them correctly. So practice daily, revise regularly, and you will definitely see improvement. So that's all for today. Keep reading, keep writing, and keep watching English Grammar and Literature World. Thanks for watching.